Amnesty Dawn is trending on Twitter today in reference to Trump's expected pivot on immigration policy this week. But is it really a pivot? I don't know if the tenets of the plan are actually going to change, because the wall will still be built, criminal aliens who've served jail time here will still be deported, and the 11 million illegal immigrants who are otherwise law-abiding will be dealt with after the border is secured. Or so Trump says. Take a look.
Can we be, and I'll ask the audience, you have somebody who's terrific, who's been here
20 years.
Right, long time. Long court proceeding, long everything, okay? In other words, to get them out. Can we go through a process, or do you think they have to get out? Tell me. I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
Well, let's do a poll. How many think they should go through a process that maybe give them a chance? Clap. We got to hear you.
How many people?
How many think they should go?
Well, but do it again. Do it again. We are going to come out with a decision very soon. The bad guys are out of here. Now, that one we agree on.
Joining me now is proprietor of ReaganBaby.com, Megan Barth. Megan, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Liz.
All right, Megan, let's talk about this Donald Trump immigration. Well, it's going to be a speech later this week. He's given clues about it on that town hall with Sean Hannity. Do you expect this to be a policy pivot, or is this just revamping of his rhetoric about the policy?
Well, I checked the Donald Trump website this morning, and nothing really has changed. I don't think his rhetoric has changed, and I really don't think he's softened his stance. Currently, we have an administration that has let out 76,000 criminal aliens, which include criminals that have committed homicide and sexual assault. They are roaming our streets and most likely hanging out in sanctuary cities. So when you look at Donald Trump's plan, he promises to defund sanctuary cities, establish harsh penalties on those that have overstayed their visas, revamp the visa system, build a wall, and enforce the laws. We have plenty of laws on the books that this administration refuses to follow or create their own, like DACA. So Donald Trump has promised still a wall and is still promising to deport criminal aliens to make our streets safer.
Right. Now, I want to get to the criminal alien aspect of Donald Trump's plan in just a second, but there are some people, Ann Coulter, for example, who has not insinuated, I'll say, that she's a fan of this potential pivot here, because there are people in our country who support a deportation task force, who want those 11 million people who are here illegally, even if they're otherwise law-abiding or contributing to our society. They want those people rounded up and removed from our country. Is this type of rhetoric, even if it is just revamping his rhetoric, is this going to alienate a far-right base?
We'll have to see. But, the logistics of deporting 11 million people are extraordinarily difficult. But once you start enforcing the laws, it really doesn't make things that difficult. So that people that are here illegally who claim to be hiding in the shadows are such like Astrid Silva, who's an illegal alien in Nevada, who spoke at the Democrat National Convention and is charged here in Nevada with enrolling 400,000 new voters. So Astrid Silva, the illegal alien, is working on behalf of the Democrats to register voters. Now, are we going to deport her, or are we going to make her go through the system and tag her to go through or not tag literally, but at least slate her to go through the system in order to get her citizenship? Those that are coming out of the shadows, specifically supporting Democrats, need to be law-abiding citizens like their predecessors and like many other immigrants that have gone through our civics process in order to become legal.
Right, and I think that's understandable in a certain sense, because I would venture to say that most people don't want to uproot families who are settled here for better or for worse, for legal or illegal entry. They don't want to uproot families, but then you see that example, for instance, of someone who's not a full citizen, who hasn't waited her turn, taking part in our self-government that a lot of other people have either fought and died for, have gone through the process and waited years to do, have worked very hard, or were lucky enough to be born here. And you do say, okay, that doesn't sound fair to me. But going back, Megan, for a second to what you were saying before about criminal aliens, and this is illegal immigrants who've committed crimes, who've been convicted for them, served jail time, and then once they're released, there are laws on our books that say they must be deported. The Obama administration has not done that. This isn't new, and this really shouldn't be a bipartisan issue. Is there anybody who actually opposes the deportation of criminal illegal immigrants?
Well, it seems like the Democrats do, because they aren't enforcing the laws on the books, and specifically laws passed by Bill Clinton. They are putting up a block, specifically in sanctuary cities, whereby they do catch and release. They'll catch a criminal alien and they'll release him back on the streets instead of setting him up through ICE to deport him. So the Democrats tend to give safe harbor through these sanctuary cities to criminal aliens, and they don't plan on revamping the immigration system, specifically because the Open Society, funded by George Soros, has given Hillary Clinton $31 million, and with Open Society comes open borders. So the Democrats are big fans of open borders, as well as Syrian refugees. Hillary Clinton wants to increase the number of Syrian refugees here by 550%. And as we understand and know through ISIS communications, they are using open borders in order to infiltrate other borderless nations. There have been plenty of Syrian refugees that have committed mass atrocities and terrorist attacks, whether you look at France or around the world. And Hillary Clinton wants to increase Syrian refugees specifically by 550%. And please keep in mind that Syrian refugees, a majority of them are Muslim. There's only 0.5% currently in the U.S. that are Christian.
Right, and like you said, I think that's a good correlation that people need to be reminded of. I even need to remind myself of this, that George Soros is the puppet master behind the Democratic Party. We've heard of his name so much, I think we've almost become numb to it, but the fact is he's the one that funds all their efforts. He's the one that controls Hillary Clinton. So when Hillary Clinton wants to bring in all these refugees, when she wants to present her immigration policy as humanitarian, it behooves us to step back and look at the motivations behind it, because like you said, George Soros is a globalist. He doesn't believe in nations. He doesn't believe in borders. He wants everyone to be able to cross, go in, go out, entry, exit at their own will. And that's what he's doing. That's what he's funding. And the memos that were just leaked from his office, his Open Society Foundation, prove that he wants to use this refugee crisis to help open up borders here. Megan, we are out of time. Let me quickly ask you this, if you could keep your answer short. Amnesty Dawn was trending on Twitter earlier. Is this pivot of Donald Trump's, does that amount to amnesty for some of these 11 million at least?
No, absolutely not. It does not amount to amnesty. It actually puts them in a legal system by enforcing the current laws on the books that have been ignored for the last 8 years under this administration.
All right, Megan, thank you so much for being here. It was great to talk to you today. All right, guys, what do you think? Let us know on Twitter at Liz_Wheeler. Meantime, we'll be right back.